Imagine a father so consumed by fear that he orders the execution of his own beloved son. This isn't a myth. It's the tragic true story of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent and his heir, Şehzade Mustafa. A tale of love, betrayal, and a decision that would haunt an empire forever. In the golden age of the Ottoman Empire, one prince stood out above all others. Şehzade Mustafa. He was the eldest surviving son of Sultan Suleiman and his first consort, Mahida. From a young age, it was clear Mustafa was special. He was a skilled warrior, a charismatic leader, and a cultured gentleman. The people adored him. The bureaucrats respected him. And most importantly, the Janissaries, the elite soldiers of the empire, saw him as their future sultan. He was the perfect heir, destined for greatness. But in the viper's nest of the Topkapi Palace, popularity could be a death sentence. As Suleiman grew older, Mustafa's fame soared. Every cheer for the prince sounded like a threat to the aging sultan. Why? Because Ottoman history was written in blood. The law of succession was brutal. When a sultan died, his sons would fight a civil war, and the winner would eliminate his brothers to secure the throne. Mustafa's immense support from the army made him a terrifyingly powerful figure. He could, in theory, stage a coup and seize power, just as Suleiman's own father had done to his grandfather. The fear of history repeating itself began to poison Suleiman's mind. This growing paranoia was expertly fueled by two of the most powerful people in the empire, Sultan Suleiman's legal wife and her son. The Grand Vizier Rüstem Pasha Hürrem was fiercely protective of her own sons, Mustafa's half-brothers. If Mustafa became sultan, her children would likely be executed. For her, it was a matter of survival. Together, she and Rüstem began a relentless campaign to turn the sultan against his firstborn. The first blow was subtle but significant. Mustafa was stripped of his prestigious governorship of Mani, the traditional post for the crown prince, and sent to the more distant province of Emissary. Publicly, it was just a transfer, but in the language of the court, the message was clear. Mustafa was falling from grace. The seeds of distrust had been sown, and they were about to bear bitter fruit. The year is 1553. The Ottoman army is on campaign against their rivals, the Safavids of Persia. This is where the final act of our tragedy unfolds. Rüstem Pasha, the Grand Vizier, makes his move. He allegedly forges letters, creating fake correspondence between Mustafa and the Safavidi Shah. The letters made it look as though Mustafa was collaborating with the enemy, plotting to overthrow his own father and seize the throne with foreign help. Whether the letters were real or fake is still debated by historians. But for the paranoid Suleiman, they were proof of his worst fears. The betrayal felt absolute. Consumed by rage and a sense of duty to his empire, he made a fatal decision. He summoned Mustafa to his tent at the military camp in Aragli. Mustafa, unaware of the depth of the conspiracy, believed he was simply answering his father's call. He rode to the camp, disarmed himself, as was customary, and entered the sultan's tent, expecting to kiss his father's hand and prove his loyalty. But as he stepped inside, he wasn't greeted by his father. Instead, he was ambushed by a group of mute executioners, the silent assassins of the court, tasked with spilling no royal blood. Mustafa, a powerful warrior, fought for his life with incredible ferocity. But he was unarmed and outnumbered. In the end, he was overpowered and strangled with a bowstring, silenced forever. Legend says that Suleiman watched the entire ordeal from behind a screen. After his son hissed a last breath, he emerged and wept over the body for days. Overcome with grief, he had secured his throne, but at the cost of his son and his own soul. The news of Mustafa's execution sent shockwaves through the empire. The Janissaries were on the verge of open rebellion, furious at the murder of their beloved commander. The public mourned openly, seeing it not as an execution, but as a political assassination. The outcry was so immense that Suleiman was forced to dismiss Rüstem Pasha to quell the anger. The death of Şehzade Mustafa is seen by many historians as a dark turning point for the Ottoman Empire. By eliminating its most capable and popular heir, the empire set itself on a path of slow decline, ruled by less competent successors. It was a personal tragedy for a father and son, and a dynastic catastrophe that weakened a great power from within. The story serves as a chilling reminder that even in the most magnificent of empires, the most dangerous battles are often fought not on the battlefield, but within the walls of the palace and the hearts of men. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating and tragic as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the dramatic history of the world's greatest empires. See you next time.